We'll go down to the Orange Bowl and join Ahmad Rashad in a few moments. But right now, a news update from NBC's Tom Brokaw.
Thanks, Bob. United States diplomatic offices in the Netherlands are on a high state of alert this evening after the Dutch Justice Ministry said warnings of Palestinian terrorist attacks now had become more conclusive. Sand-filled dumpsters were placed in front of the U.S. Embassy in The Hague. 7 armed Iranians boarded a U.S. merchant ship in international waters today. The U.S. State Department said the Iranians were Navy men, that they boarded the ship outside the Persian Gulf, that they left the ship after about 2 hours when they determined that it was not carrying weapons to Iraq. The White House expressed, however, serious concern. A senior Libyan official said today that Muammar Gaddafi's invitation to President Reagan to visit him in his tent was merely a figure of speech. Gaddafi invited President Reagan yesterday when, joined by his wife and 4 of their children, the Libyan leader welcomed 6 female journalists to his tent in Tripoli. He told the journalists that if President Reagan were to visit, he would see that I don't live in the trenches. A black South African leader, Ampi Maiza, was found hacked to death today, shortly before he was scheduled to meet near Johannesburg with Chester Crocker. He's the U.S. State Department's top African expert. Maiza's murder was believed to have been carried out by black political opponents. The reluctant space shuttle Columbia finally took off today.
We have ignition. We have liftoff. Liftoff of Columbia.
Columbia left Florida at 6:55 a.m. Eastern Time, following a record 7 consecutive launch delays. The shuttle flight kicks off the busiest year in space with 15 launches planned. Columbia this afternoon successfully launched a satellite. And finally, the Malaysian news agency reported today that 2 Japanese soldiers have been doing forced labor for a band of communist guerrillas in Malaysia since the end of World War II. For most of that time, the guerrillas reportedly persuaded the soldiers that they were helping the Japanese fight against the Allies. The Japanese soldiers didn't learn until the late 1970s that the war was over, and even then, the communists refused to set them free. I'm Tom Brokaw, NBC News in New York. Now back to Bob Costas.
Thanks, Tom. And we'll take it now to the Orange Bowl in Miami. Ahmad Rashad standing by.